Our next guest has a really important piece of the puzzle, showing that this is not a new phenomenon. We've all seen now Joe Biden withholding weapons, telling the Israelis not to do this, not to do that. We're going to hurt you if you do this. Well, this is not a new thing, right? 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago, you had this guy, Bruce Brill. He's got a new book, Deceit of an Ally. He was working at the NSA. He was trained as an Arab linguist, an Arabic interpreter. And on the first day of the October 1973 Yom Kippur War, he had this incredible epiphany. So he knew that the Arabs were going to attack the Israelis. He knew it because they had intercepted these communications, and he knew. Well, at that moment, he became an instant Zionist, he says. He went to Israel after being discharged. And what he found out from the head of intelligence there was that the U.S. government had told the Israelis that the Arabs were not going to attack, even though they knew that the Arabs were going to attack. Thousands of Jewish soldiers were killed as a result of that, and it seems like it's happening again. Bruce Brill, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for coming on. Tell us about what you experienced when you were working at the NSA. Was the U.S. government betraying its ostensible ally, Israel?
Well, I would not say the U.S. government. I would say that there was deep within the intelligence community cells that were anti-Israel, that worked not only against Israel, an American ally, but worked against stated American policy. These cells, known as the Jew Room, were well funded by taxpayer money, but they were totally secret within the intelligence agency, unmonitorable, and they were engaged in activities that were in defiance of American stated policy. What could be more un-American than that?
Yeah, that's wild. And it actually reminds me a little bit of George Marshall, the, I think, subversive Secretary of State, Secretary of War, who served under Truman, just absolutely was opposed to Truman recognizing the legitimacy of Israel, recognizing it as a state when it declared independence. And it seems like there's been this thread within our government for a very, very long time. And it seems like now it's almost starting to come out of the closet. I was in Israel some years ago, and I had the opportunity at that time to interview the deputy speaker of the Knesset, MK Moshe Feiglin. He was with Likud at the time. He has since formed his own party. And one of the things he said to me was, the Americans should stop sending us money. Part of that is that you guys are using that as leverage to tell us what we can and can't do when defending ourselves, and that's unacceptable. You live in Israel now, if I understand that correctly. From your perspective, what is the real situation with regards to the U.S.-Israeli relationship when it comes to Joe Biden and the present administration?
Well, it seems to us, and it seems particularly to me, because I'm a living witness to what happened 50 years ago, prior to October 6th, the Yom Kippur War. And what happened on October 7th, just 8 months ago, just smells so similar. And I can't not suspect that what happened 50 years ago was history repeating itself on October 7th.
Yeah, it really seems like it. And there's still a lot of unanswered questions about that day. We've got to get answers to those. And it's just appalling. Bruce, your book, Deceit of an Ally, what's the best place to get that? And what are some of the other things they'll learn in the last couple minutes we have left here?
Okay, well, I really don't want to promote my book. It's the Sabbath here. So I'll leave the promotion of the book to you.
Okay, very good.
But what I would, right, what I would say is that although the title of the book may sound un-American, Deceit of an Ally, but it's not. These cells that are unmonitorable and secret within the agency that work against Israel and are taxpayer funded, and as I said, totally secret within the secret agency. Nothing could be more un-American if they're working against American stated policy.
It is
So my
un-American.
book is not anti-American, it's anti-American.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad you wrote it, Bruce. I'm so glad that you were able to join us on short notice, even on the Sabbath day. We appreciate it very much. I know the sun has already gone down in Israel as we are filming this. So really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. And I hope we can get you back to discuss this in more detail. The book is Deceit of an Ally. It's available on Amazon and other places that good books are sold. Bruce, thank you again for speaking out, and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me and helping me
Absolutely.
to get the truth out.
It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for putting it out there. All right, folks, we are out of time, but go get the book. He can't promote it, but I can. Right? It's Deceit of an Ally by Bruce Brill. Check it out. And folks, if you think this kind of stuff is not still happening today, you're kidding yourself, right? We've got secret agencies within secret agencies with their own agendas that have no respect for the U.S. Constitution, that have no respect for our allies, that have no respect for the American people's elected representatives in Congress. And that should be very, very clear at this point. We've got to restore some accountability. And that begins with a proper understanding of the problem, right? First of all, it's not a new problem. Second of all, it persists to this day. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're a new